Hello, it's Blighty Otaku here once again with, well, a hopefully shorter than normal video because, well, if you can probably hear that buzzing in the background, that's the computer, and that is actually the hard drive. As if I get closer, you could probably hear it a lot more, and as I actually mentioned before, if I apply pressure to the side panels of the case, the sound actually goes down a bit. So, quite frankly, all this system needs is a new case. But, well, once I put this to bed, once I put this recording to bed, I've got a bowl of baked beans sausages that I will be consuming, and a few episodes of interviews with monster girls that I'm going to be watching. But what we are actually doing right now is a continuation of my last video, namely benchmark comparisons between the blimey, me and my bad typing as per usual. The Western Digital Blue 5200 RPM, or is that 5400? I can't even get that right. I think that is 5400. Yeah, but whatever. SATA 2 hard drive. And as the title clearly says, this is going to be very unscientific. Because all I have done is 2 tests and Crystal Disk Mark. And I think I've even managed to get me spellings incorrect, as long as the UK. Yes, hard drive, yeah. Or is that, oh yeah, that's, because that's Americanized and not the Queen's English, yeah. Okay, well, all I can actually say is that from here, because, well, I only tested 2 games, because, well, 320 gigs, you can't put much on there alongside the OS, and I've only managed to claw back a little over 100 gig from moving everything that was installed on it through Steam and whatever over to the new hard drive. So, right, the first test was World of Warships, and the first one was, well, basically from the update screen when you start up the game to log in, and for that I actually just hit the start button on the stopwatch the moment I hit the enter key on the keyboard, and that was 42 seconds from the main update / startup screen to login. To get from login to port, and for this one I'm going to explain. I did not start the stopwatch until I noticed activity on the hard drive, since for logging in it has to transmit data, verify it, so on and so forth, and starting the moment I just hit login would have tainted the results. And for that result, it was 22 seconds. Right, the next 3 tests were load up to maps, and once again, the timer wasn't started until the map data was actually being loaded from the hard drive. So, well, they progressively dropped down, but it could just be the amount of data loaded from the hard drive. So the first map was the neighbours map, which took a minute and a half to load. The second map was Two Brothers, going down to 1 minute, and Islands of Ice went down to 52 seconds. Alright. And the second test was for Fractured Space, which I'd recently installed, Oh, and yeah, I should actually mention that all of this has been done from a completely defragmented hard drive, so that doesn't taint the results, but unfortunately, the low results for fracture space were tainted slightly with a 2-minute 10 load from icon to going to the main game screens to have the game fully loaded. And unfortunately, there was an update dumped in as well for some back-end stuff that had to be installed, and unfortunately, as per usual on this system, you had crap running in the background when this was trying to load, and it dragged out the load up to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And I tried it again, and I got 30 seconds, but it would have been cached to be quickly reloaded, as it was the last item loaded out. So I would assume that a standard loadout would probably be about 1 minute and 40 seconds. But even on this old clunker, it still ran a bit faster for the loadouts from the ship choice and loadout screen to match loadout. And again with that, I waited until I noticed hard drive activity on the system. Alright, yeah, and now for the even worse bit, the crystal disk mark results. With reads and writes for sequential multi, 68.17 read, 60.61 write, the 4K multi going at 0.575 read, 0.675 write, sequential getting even worse at 64.18 and 50 read and 52.44 write, and the 4K 0.28 and 0.593 read and write respectively. And, well, it's time for the impressive numbers, especially for the Toshiba 7200 RPM SATA-free hard drive. And from the startup update screen to login, it's only 37 seconds for World of Warships. From login screen to port, and again I did wait for load activity, was around 8 seconds. Unfortunately, because of RNG of map choices, I did not get the same maps. So, for the first map loadout, Sea of Fortune, it only took 47 seconds. To load the Land of Fire for the second test, for the second battle, was only 40 seconds. And to load the Okinawa map, well, it went to 45 seconds. So, a good improvement there, even though I couldn't get the same maps. And on to Fractured Space, and since we didn't have any extra run times installed to actually taint the results, we had vastly better results at 1 minute 8 seconds from selecting the game to it being loaded, and 10 seconds to go from the ship choice and loadout screen to the full match loadout, which is, well, a heck of a lot better. And again, the Crystal Disk Mark benchmark results. The sequential multis, that's 202.2 read and 137.6 write. 4K multi, 1.653 read, 1.554 write, and the regular sequential is 202.4 read, 133.4 write, And the 4K standard is 0.715 read, 1.125 write. So, yeah, in the synthetics, the 7200 RPM SATA 3 hard drive simply smokes the 5400 RPM SATA 2 hard drive, and even in standard loading, and once again I did defragment the hard drive for all of this, it did actually get better results in all either minor or greater results in comparison. So, yeah. Yep, 10 minutes. Said it was going to be a shorter than a normal video, and it wasn't. So, yeah. Because hopefully the next thing I should be doing with this is actually getting the case it's going to be transplanted into. Unfortunately, I can't do the transplant until I've got all the necessary hardware. And by that I mean extra cable extensions. So, yeah, I've now got to live with that for a couple of months. So, this is Blighty Otaku signing off. Until next time, I'll catch ya laters.